Welcome to Midcard Maniacs. I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And today we're going to be talking about the recent WWE release list that happened on April 15th, 2021. Yeah. Now, as many of you probably know, if you're on Twitter or if you're on YouTube, and you are on YouTube or one of those platforms, you're watching this video, you're probably well aware of what happened. There was a bunch of releases that came out, and we're just gonna go through the list and talk about where we think they might show up next, or where we actually want them to go. And then we'll do separate videos for ones we feel very strongly about. So first, the list of releases. Samoa Joe, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the IIconics. Mickie James, future Hall of Famer. Chelsea Green, someone they were pushing for so long. Tucker, they split up Heavy Machinery and got rid of Tucker. Kalisto, Bo Dallas, Wesley Blake, and the one that's gonna hurt people the most, Mojo Rawley. This came as a huge shock to not only the Superstars, but to everybody else as well. We're just like, what do you mean? You did this exact same thing 1 year ago, to the day where they released a ton of Superstars. Where do we even start?
I feel like the one we should start off with, someone whose brother is still in the company, and that's Bo Dallas. I get it. You weren't using him, especially to his potential, because he had one of the greatest NXT runs possible. His main roster use was terrible. I'm surprised that they let him go because they generally like to keep family ties or
and legacy too, right?
And legacies together. The thing that irritates me about this is Bo Dallas should definitely be back in WWE. I was really hoping Bo Dallas would just join his brother and literally be a part of the Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, I can totally see back in the day we had the multiple doinks. We got the multiple Fiend situation. Now that Alexa Bliss seems to be in control, maybe in the Fiend trying to retake control now that we know that she's in control. Man, get two Fiends out there.
Imagine them as a tag team. Do you want Bray Wyatt to be modern day Undertaker? Make Bo Dallas modern day Kane. And we got the Brothers of Destruction, legit brothers.
I was gonna call them Team Fiend, which doesn't sound very cool. Okay, I've never been a big fan of Bo Dallas. He hasn't been used for a long time, so I don't really care. I can't really see him popping up in other promotions. I think that he might get the Drake Maverick effect and maybe go back with WWE at some point.
There's only two companies I would see him at and would actually think he would be a great fit because he is a fantastic wrestler and amazing on the mic, NWA or New Japan. I think he would bring something fresh to both of those companies, and he has that legacy attached to him that those companies, especially NWA, would eat that up.
Let's get this one out of the way. Mojo Rawley. I'm not a huge fan. The guy's kind of weird. I did like his energy when he was doing his party stuff back in the day. We would watch him on those reality shows.
On Breaking Ground?
On Breaking Ground. He's a fun guy. Him and his Gronk buddy hanging out at WrestleMania.
So you're saying he's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Okay, yeah, he's either gonna go back to fucking football or he's joining Swinger over on Impact and go to the Swinger Casino because Swinger is somebody that would fucking party with him. They lost their big party guy in RVD. Get Mojo over there. I don't think he would be a great asset for Impact personally, but it's where I can picture him because he's more of a weird, fun character, and Impact likes to play with them a lot.
I feel like you're right. I think him going to Impact, he could be the next Monty Brown. Just the pounce.
And then you know what we have? You get Moose and Mojo going head to head. It's no, I'm the real quarterback, or I don't know what the fuck. I don't know anything about football. I don't think either of them were quarterbacks, but that would be fun.
This one I'm not surprised about, and that's Kalisto. Again, WWE is always trying to corner a certain demographic, and Rey Mysterio is getting up there in years, and I don't know how much faith they're gonna have in Dominic Mysterio. Kalisto was supposed to be that savior. He was supposed to be the next Rey. Nothing against his wrestling skills. I'm actually not surprised he's gone, and I feel he's just gonna go back to Mexico.
I think so too. He'll be in CMLL or AAA. I would before that happens, to see Kalisto and Phoenix show up on some indie show and just kill it. Because I really, really want to see Phoenix and Kalisto. Next, we'll talk about Chelsea Green. This was a shock signing for WWE that they immediately pushed in NXT with that, with the Robert Stone brand and all that stuff. She just kind of disappeared. She got injured on her, like, I think it was like her call-up, right?
Yeah, on her SmackDown debut.
And then nothing happened after that, and that was it. Which sucks, because she is an awesome wrestler. She's going to be an asset anywhere she goes. She's going to make money. I really want her to go back to Impact, where she came from. If she goes back and becomes Laurel Van Ness again, and then there's that Rosemary conflict, they have like built-in stories ready to go. Alternatively, Matt Cardona, her better half, is over there as well. There's a lot that she can do, and the fact that like Laurel Van Ness can still exist in Impact because that was their property anyway. And she's promoting it already. She's been posting pictures, so is Matt. It just makes the most sense. As much as I'd like to see her in AEW or something, because we saw her at All In, and she killed it, like alongside Tessa Blanchard, Madison Rayne, and Britt Baker.
She could be this year's like Ty Conti, because last year Ty was the one who was released from WWE, and look at her now in AEW. And it would be fantastic to see her with AEW, but Impact really makes the most sense for her personal life and her career going forward.
One quick note though, I will say, if she does happen to go to AEW for some reason, she was also mixed up with Allie and Blade as like the hot mess too, because of all of that relationship shit. So I would love to see her just kind of step in, Impact grant AEW, or just her the Laurel Van Ness character, which could happen because of their working relationship. There's like some good crossover story. Even if she did go to Impact, you could still work in some Allie, and I've wanted that anyway. I've wanted some Allie going back to like Demon Bunny style with Rosemary. Bring in Blade. I can see it now. This is what I want.
And keeping it with the women, Mickie James. As much as I would love to see her in AEW and what she could bring to that roster, it just makes more sense for her to go to NWA and be with her husband.
Who's Nick Aldis, by the way?
Yeah, in case you didn't know, but it just makes sense because she's a great veteran wrestler. She still has a lot more in her, and WWE wasted her. Like, they absolutely wasted her return. Picturing her in AEW and being that veteran presence, along with like someone like when Serena Deeb decides to come back, it would be great, but it's not to say they won't have a good working relationship, because as we know, AEW and NWA do have those crossover matches and crossover roster. So, but I think she'll go with her husband. I mean, why wouldn't she?
Yeah, that makes the most sense to me as well. And I think like a dream match for me in that situation, Genocide now being on NWA Power versus Mickie James would be fucking awesome. Next, we'll talk about Tucker. This was a shock when they split up Heavy Machinery and they pushed Otis to the moon. And it's unfortunate. Otis, we love Otis, but we like everybody saw this. We're like, why'd you split them up? Just like they split up the IIconics. Doesn't make any sense. And Tucker was kind of put on the back burner for a while. This was kind of expected, at least from an outside perspective, but he had no idea.
I feel Tucker needs to just like roam the indies for a bit, or just jump into like Ring of Honor. I feel that is a roster that would be kind of suited for him, because I feel like he still has a bit to learn as like a wrestler. Like seeing him down in NXT as a tag wrestler and not really getting him as like a singles competitor. He's a big monster who can move around, and we have that in kind of every different promotion right now. So Ring of Honor just seems to be a good fit for him, because he can still do a lot of independent work but have that mainstay on Ring of Honor.
I would like to see him in Danhausen. I think that would be fun. What would be cool too, and I mean AEW is already stacked as it is, but with Bear Country hanging out there, he is kind of a guy that would fit in with Bear Country. I know they were an established tag team before. I think that they could be a trios team with Tucker, because they can all move. They're strong as fuck, and I think he would just fit in well.
I think he would be good too, even at AEW, but like starting him off in dark.
I can see him being some kind of big muscle in a suit. He can be Sheeta's big guy behind her or something. You know, AEW loves factions. Sheeta's gonna end up in one. Here we go.
I think this is the biggest shocker, and that's Samoa Joe getting released. I don't know, maybe he wanted out because he's been commentating for so long, but he was damn good at it. Not to say that he was a WWE guy, because we all know he was like fantastic in Ring of Honor and TNA back in the day, and just like he's a worldly wrestler, but still, it's hard to believe not seeing him in WWE right now.
It's hard to say where I'd want him because there are a lot of dream matches with Joe. Like, I don't think I want him to sign a full contract anywhere. As much as an AEW mark as I am, and I'd love him to just kill it over there, there's a lot going on already. Miro still needs to find his place still there, and Joe kind of fits that same badass, beefy guy role. I don't think he would be quite used to his potential there. Jumping between promotions on like random contracts would be great. New Japan, there's some massive dream matches. I'd love to see him and Jeff Cobb. And with New Japan Strong now like having like a US division, he can kick around there for a little bit and absolutely kill it.
What I think would be great is his return to Impact, and he destroys Rich Swann. Nothing against Rich Swann. Just like walks in, yo, this is Joe's house, takes the title, and this is the thing that sucks, because he could be the one to put an end to this Kenny Omega coming to Impact.
90-day no compete. It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Because Rebellion is like this weekend.
You're right. It's not happening. That's a dream, but I would like to see Joe back in Impact because he should be the champion. Like when Eric Young came back last year, Eric Young was like the guy. And I think, nothing against Eric Young because I love him as a wrestler, I think Samoa Joe is just a little more the guy there.
Him going to Impact makes the most sense as far as like where he'll probably stay, but let him roam. There's some people in MLW I'd like to see him go against. Calvin Tankman. I want to see Joe versus Tankman. There's a lot of people on the indies. I'd like him versus Dickinson. I'd like to see him versus Nick Gage because he wants to throw down. He wants the hardest fucking hitters in the game.
Yeah.
Joe's one of them.
And like, I mean, we're gonna get into more like fantasy booking style in a separate video, but if he were to go to AEW, Team Taz, he just needs to be a part of that because he fits the mold perfectly.
And now moving on to the biggest heartbreak. First, when the IIconics got broken up, everyone was like, what the hell is going on? This doesn't make any sense unless Peyton gets a massive singles push, which they didn't give her. Even when they announced the releases, they didn't announce them together. It was Billie Kay first, and then 3 hours later, Peyton Royce. And we're like, what? This is the most frustrating for a lot of people. Where I want them is definitely in AEW. Their tag division needs some help, and this is a genuine tag team, especially with Ivelisse now gone. Diamante and Ivelisse are not the tag team anymore, so they need another tag team to step up. This is the one.
And for a long time now, we've always been saying how Peyton Royce needs to leave WWE to go to AEW to be with her husband, because she is married to Sean Spears in real life, and the two of them are an adorable couple if you ever follow them on like Instagram or any of their social medias. But like, they need to be in AEW. What they could bring is unbelievable, and it saddens me because Billie Kay, as much as I hate them split up, at WrestleMania I thought they had gold in Billie Kay basically being Damien Sandow, aka Damien Mizdow, when he was the Miz's stunt double, because that whole gimmick, that whole dynamic as a tag team was great when she was mimicking Carmella. On Mania night, I was like, this is it. They need to win. They need to run with it. She is the greatest performer right now in the women's tag division. And then she's released. So it blew my mind.
I even liked her when she was part of the Riot Squad, kind of just trying to be somewhere. Like, she's just so good. And like, I mean, they're both great performers, but their character work is excellent. They bring a lot of unique character to everything. I think that's like the only place I can really see them. Of course, they could go to Impact, the Knockouts division. I mean, it's already great, but why not? Them against like Fire and Flava would be amazing. I can definitely see them just popping up there. They can join Tenille Dashwood, their longtime friend. That works.
I thought we were gonna get that Aussie connection when Rhea Ripley won the title, and sure enough, they like make this great faction in WWE when they shake up the roster. Like I thought that could have been a thing they were doing with the IIconics, but nope, they wasted them as single competitors and as a tag team. I'm glad that they're gone from WWE because there's going to be another promotion, hopefully AEW, that is going to scoop them up and they're just going to steal the spotlight.
They're absolutely, without a doubt, top of the card, main event level talent, and they will get whatever money they want. What'd you guys think of where we want these releases to go? These superstars? Do we call them superstars still?
Yeah.
They're superstars in our minds. What'd you guys think of our thoughts? What do you guys think of the releases? Do you think this is a stupid fucking move for WWE? Let us know in the comments. Like this video if you like this kind of video where we just ramble and talk and give our opinions. And if it's your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay up to date with everything Midcard Maniacs.